The emotional symphony of life.
Mm. Thank you. Wow.
Just to name the notes.
Oh, yes.
That can be a trigger to be like, oh, I see you're angry. Let's resolve this when we're not angry.
Mm.
Can we agree to do that? Get the agreement. Get the agreement in the peace so you
Yes.
can use it in the storm.
Yeah. Yeah. This is also an opportunity,
Mhm.
to lay them down for future work.
And so it works when they say, oh, I feel myself being charged, aka also known as angry.
Mm.
Let's pick this up another time. Boom.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
then you're like, so what you look for is you look for demonstrations of it, and it's like, they got it. And then
Mm.
celebrate, they got it. And
Yeah.
even if they don't, bring it back to celebrate, like, oh, I heard you working it like this is like that. And what you're doing is you're just closing the gap.
Mm.
You're bringing the awareness to it. So that's what we do in the moments between the fights. Build the bridge so you can use it
Oh,
in the storm.
yes. Yeah. Beautiful.
So life's emotional symphony. It's like our emotional
Yeah.
symphony of life.
Yes.
Name them with the experience and the emotion. Connect them. That's what we're doing anyway. We just use our mind to do it. Their mind
Mm.
and heart. Because
Mm.
we're 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 ingraining patterns with passion now, purpose. That's what we're doing.
Mm.
Not our wound, not our wounded ego.
No.
Good morning, Allison.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
Allison.
Alison.
Morning, Allison.
Good morning, everybody. It's good to be with
They've been helping me out, and with yeah, I had a big challenge with my my biggest daughter, my oldest daughter,
you. Your oldest.
yesterday. Yeah, they were. She and her sister were fighting over a purse,
Mm.
and it lasts for yeah the half of the night, and
Yes.
yeah, it went very high, and she ended up leaving home. I had to find her. Yeah,
Um, the emotions were
I,
running very high.
yeah, because no matter what I did, she would say that I was choosing her younger sister's part, against her,
Yes.
and I loved the younger sister more than her, and all the blame and all of that. It triggered me, and I'm really tired today, and my head aches, but it's been a good exercise, Will Hines and Jess has been helping me out.
I'm so glad that you got help, Chi. That's a huge challenge. I'm not sure that
Yeah,
I would have handled it very well.
oh, yeah, it's really caught me off guard, So
Mm.
And who would expect a purse to create that much trouble?
Well, is it the purse?
Like I said, it's not about the person.
Yeah. But that's what our attention is drawn to. And so that's where our awareness comes in, which I'm sure everybody pointed to. What was it really about? And that's just a rhetorical question, sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Chi.
Yeah, big challenge having kids, but at the same time, it make us grow.
And you've done a great job with your kids. I've seen people with one kid having more trouble than you have with 5.
But it's like, it's the girls are giving me more headaches than the boys.
It's because no matter how hard you try, you can't be a mom.
Well, mums also have problems with girls, don't you worry.
Yeah, what I got out of the help I got today is not to pick a situation when try to resolve, not in the middle of a battle. When everything calms down,
Well,
when she's more open.
As Jesse was talking about, you can't build bridges in the storm. We can't do that in reality either. And it would be a pretty funny looking bridge. Being pushed to one side as you build it. It was just that picture I got when he used that, what is it called, analogy. And I thought, yeah, you can't build a bridge in a storm. It has to be calm weather.
Right.
But we are trying. We are trying. I'm doing exactly the same as you. So no teaching from me. I've started just.
Yeah, the next step for me is try with a different approach.
How do you imagine that might be, Chief? What do you think it could be?
Just to show my vulnerability, how we can gain trust to each other, not but how can I assure her that I'm on her side? We're in the same boat. When one is rocking the boat, we're all in the boat. It's it affects us all. We depend on each other.
Yes, we do. Or you could also, I'm so sorry. My mind's just going as I'm sitting. We could also point to, I don't know. I'm catching myself because I don't know if these things really work in the moment. I think the main thing in the moment is to acknowledge that each of them has got a very difficult decision to make. If you point to what they are both dealing with in the moment, so both of them have got the decision to make as to whether they allow the other to have something that they absolutely believe is theirs. And that's a very it's a very anger-provoking situation because each of them feels robbed by not having it.
Oh, yeah.
So you point to what each of them are going through in that, in that, it's very different, right? Because usually, especially with teenagers, I find more than with kids. With teenagers, there's more need for them to feel acknowledged or heard in terms of what their dilemmas are. Because the biggest refrain with a teenager is, you don't understand me. And then as they get older is, you could never.
That's a big one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could.
Yeah.
You can never understand me because you're old and I'm a teenager.
Oh, you're so true. It was exactly like that yesterday. Exactly. Yeah. You don't understand me.
Yeah. So it's like going behind the curtain of the conflict and speaking to what you see being there in terms of their emotions and empathizing with each of their positions. But it's so interesting for me, Chi, honestly, because I know, like I can remember, my brothers fighting about objects, about things. And as much as my mother and father did an amazing job with raising 4 kids, they got drawn into the fight every time.
Yes. Yes, so true. Yeah, as a
They,
parent, yeah.
Yeah, they got pulled in. I didn't have fights in the moment to contend with because I only had one child. But I had to be very careful in my, commenting with Kaylis when she was little about situations that she was in that she was very unhappy about.
Yeah, Jesse wrote something in the chat. Ask the child if you, the adult, was a teenager before.
Yes, but we forget. And they don't want to take that into consideration, especially girls. I don't know about boys.
Oh, I tried that with my son, and he just said, "You didn't grow up in this time."
Yes, and they're right.
Yeah, they think they know best, but in a sense they do, They, they're the one who they know themselves best.
Allison, I got a question too. So when our children are a certain age and conflicts arise, can that trigger that age within us And
Yeah,
can that be a real trigger
yeah,
for that age within us to kind of activate?
it could be, yeah. I mean, anything can become a trigger, right?
Guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and sometimes,
And then you find yourself kind of relating as a
mm,
teenager
yes,
rather than an adult, you know?
yeah, absolutely, 100%. 100%.
Which can be easy to get pulled into the fight then, right? The
Mm-hmm.
conflict. Because then you're thinking like a 15 or 16 or 17-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Just something that kind of came up for me.
I know it's positive or it's negative. So the negative can affect us, and the positive can affect us.
Yeah.
So how we hold the balance, balancing it
Mm.
out.
Challenge is not getting dragged into it and going into it and meeting them at the same space, but being the adult in the room, that's the challenge, eh?
Yeah.
And not from a place of self-righteousness or anything like that, right? Like, oh, I'm the adult, so I've got it all together. Nothing like that. Just holding the space.
But it's not easy, when
Oh, it's hard.
when the
It's
younger
so hard.
sister is crying and crying, and the bigger sister, she wouldn't let go, she just keep on attacking the younger sister, It's
Mm.
it's it's, it's hard to to stay out of. But I know, yeah, they just know how to trick me. So,
Yeah.
Well, sometimes, you know, in very, very constricted, intense emotions between younger and older teenagers, a parent does have to step in and say to the older one, you are not allowed to do that.
that's what I did.
Yeah, that's a boundary. And sometimes one really does have to step in like that, because if the expression of the anger of the older one is too damaging for the younger one,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you have to speak to that, but
Yeah.
at the same time then you reflect the emotion that you can see and you show concern, right, for the fact that they are that angry. And you can say, this is very concerning for me that you are that angry, that you can fight with me in that way. You are not allowed to fight with a younger sibling or anybody else younger than you in that way.
You're right, but it becomes a pattern. But a lot of stuff, happening behind the parents' back, without
I know.
the
I
fight
know.
there.
Yeah.
So I
And
told her that it's not okay. That's when your litter is lying down, you're stepping,
yeah,
on
yeah,
her, like that.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, and
she don't respect my boundaries, my rules in the house. They have peace in the house. I want to. Everybody is, it's the same for everybody, that we help each other out, and but she don't follow any rules at all. The big sister.
what do you think? What do you think lies behind that intensity?
But for her, she says that she's wounded.
And what do
Yeah,
you think about that?
she's possibly right,
Ah,
but you know, um, yes, she's right. She's right, but then again, we don't have to.
and are the other children wounded?
She says that they're all wounded,
Okay.
and that's her perspective. But
is that her
yeah,
perspective as well? Does she
yes,
realize
yes, it
that?
is. She says that she says that she's wounded.
Then
And does she
But yeah, because they grew up with a narcissistic mother. So yeah,
yes.
they
So
had, they
there's
had
a
a mental wound. Yeah.
yeah, so there's a there's a there's a very big pattern of wounding. And as Jesse said, or was it Jesse or somebody else? I'm sorry.
Yes,
Yeah. Uh,
you said.
yeah, it might have been somebody else when I came in. That said something about, it could have been you, Chi, that said something about building the positive pattern, or
Yes,
Hans. Right. And so, I mean, it's one thing to build it in between. It's another thing when you're in, in that storm. And as a parent, you have to protect the younger child from the older child's expression of anger, which can become very abusive.
yes, it's very
Teenagers
abusive. Yes, yes,
teenagers find it extremely hard um, to pull in their emotional response because they don't have the structure in the brain that allows them to do that yet. It's very
yeah,
complex.
yes, yes, yeah. Yes, I think
You know,
wrong. It takes time.
they behave like adults in terms
Mm,
of their insights about feelings and behavior, and they can point to injustice very quickly. But when they get caught in the injustice, if they have had difficulty in parenting relationships up to that point in time, it's extremely difficult for them.
yeah.
And they don't manage, and hence her, what you're experiencing as disrespect, right? But actually, it is just her inability to be able to
Wow,
pull that emotion in. And the more she can't pull it in, the more frustrated she gets.
wow.
Because what she sees is you being unjust. And so then she goes for you. And she
Thank you for
and
pointing
she
that
attacks
out.
you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow.
and like we're
She,
doing
she can
here,
only see. She can only see through her own eyes. Yeah, so
That's right. And their blind spots are so much
yeah.
more
Thank you.
intense and bigger than what ours are as an adult, I believe, emotionally.
Mm,
and as we do here, have a since she says I'm wounded, well, have her deal with the emotion, not with the story. Ask her what can she do about the emotion, but don't put another story out there. We can always
Very,
change our story.
but yes, it's a good observation, Hans. You, but in that moment, you you can't ask her to change it, right? Over time, you can point that out. But in
mm,
that moment, you need to be able to some extent speak to the fact that you have got empathy for what she is experiencing in that moment,
mm.
because that's how you get her, or anybody in that situation. That's how you start to diffuse and bring the intensity of the emotion, which they can't bring back, and you have to help them bring it back.
I think there's a piece of her is missing, because although I shower them with love, in my
Mm.
actions, in my words, in my intention, but their mother, she never show any love or stay express any love to them,
I
never.
know, G. Yeah.
So that's maybe why, yeah, she's because
It's out of
she's not
balance.
complete. It's just
Yeah.
maybe she
Yeah.
still hurt. Yeah, it hurts her deep down.
Yeah. very much so. And she had, she had your wife as a parental figure for longer than what the youngest one did.
Yeah. Yes, it's hard for me, to dealing with girls because I don't have that feminine side. It's a dominant side of me.
I know, and they don't, they, yeah, we perceive men and or girls and boys differently as teenagers, right?
Yes,
The whole new world that we step into.
yes. I never been there, so I don't know all of her inner conflict. I feel for her. Yeah.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Otherwise, I mean, that's the whole point of you bringing it, right? Because you are concerned.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for having this group.
I was thinking as you were saying, Chi, that you don't know what it's like for her. And so if you think about what Jessie has worked with us, I mean, the first thing that came to mind for me was, well, we don't really have to know exactly. All we do need to be able to do is, first of all, speak to our empathy for the situation that they find themselves in, then speak to, perhaps, just to say the words, although they're not going to be able to feel it in that heat, but to say, you have to remember, I love both of you. And this is not about me choosing sides of one or the other. This is about us finding a solution to the problem that you both have.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, but again, like Jesse said, in the middle of a storm, they don't listen.
No, they don't listen, but they hear words.
Oh. So just pointing it out for them.
Yeah. You circle, you keep on circling back. And you comment on the emotion. Like Heinz was saying, you don't get into the story initially. You comment on the emotion because you want them to have that experience of you being able to see what it is that they are experiencing. And they'll say, in a fight like that, they'll say it's the other one that's making them feel the way that they feel.
Yes.
And you could say, maybe it does seem like that for you at the moment. But there's lots for us still to talk about.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge of building new patterns for you, Chi. Your family has changed, right?
Yes. Yeah. Fundamentally.
Yeah.
And it's the same with them as with us. They are choosing to go into that emotion. It has nothing to do with the other. The
Yes,
other is just a trigger, but the
yes,
emotion is there.
sure, Heinz, but you cannot, when there has been that amount of trauma, if you point that out to the teenager at that point, all they are going to experience is blame. They are not going to hear that they have a choice. They cannot. They can't hear it. You have to first work with the empathy.
Yes.
That's your first stop.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Because your aim is to just reduce, you want to get that intensity reduced so that the logical mind can actually come on board. You want to be able to have a little bit of reasoning with, in this case, it would be especially for the older one. Because that's who you have to see to first. When the older one is acting out so badly that it is abusing, the younger child, that the younger child is getting really badly abused. It's a crisis situation. This is not an ordinary, squabble. That teaching about choice comes quite a bit later. You can speak to it in terms of that is what you're learning as an adult, but you can't point to them and say you're choosing this. Not when there hasn't been the background for them to absorb that and have time to see that.
Yeah, it's been wonderful with all your great feedback, inputs, and suggestions.
When I look back at my life, I can see I had the stories, but I didn't have the experience. Experience comes as we grow.
It does, Hans. That's so true. Or different experience comes, right? We still have experience even if we don't grow. But different experience comes as we grow.
And they have more than one way of looking at it.
Exactly. And as a parent, so do we, right?
Yeah.
Because they teach us. There's no doubt about that.
And like Will said, they're great at drawing us back to becoming a teenager again. So we are trying to see it from their point of view, but that just makes it even worse. It'd be two egos against each other.
Yeah. So then this might be too soon for you, but try and see if you can do what Jesse works with us.
Yes.
So just for now, just speak to what it is that you feel about how the information that you've been getting in the last like 15, 20 minutes. See if you can summarize it in a way that is useful for you.
Yes.
Like that 1, 2, 1, what is it? Name it. 2, what could it be?
Yeah, it's a turning point for me. How I lay the foundation for future work. Yeah, because yeah, they're still growing. They're still evolving. So yeah, small kids, small challenges, and big kids, big challenges.
Mm.
And your children are probably realizing you're changing. Well, they are still trying the great old programs to see if they can make you go back.
They're just trying their programs out.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Yeah,
Because
then
change
we,
is
as parents, we must guide them the best way we can.
and change is scary, and your kids have gone through a lot of changes this last half year.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So she's probably scared at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a challenge for them since very young, because when the mother don't have any empathy, don't have any love for them, don't have any acceptance,
Yeah.
so they
And then
are.
all of
Yeah, the inside world is so the turmoil.
Yes.
and then all of a sudden she just packs everything and leaves. Maybe in
Yeah.
their deep dark unconscious, they say, "Well, what's keeping you from just packing up and leaving?"
I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy, and all that, and they would blame themselves. That's what, like we said, yeah, like we did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the natural order.
I don't. I don't even think that I have the equipment, the knowledge to do this by myself. Really, it's really challenging.
It's very challenging, G.
Because it's a new
I
situation
bet
for me too. Suddenly be a single father.
Yes.
even if you ask two parents, they probably also
Exactly.
feel they don't have the experience even to be good parents.
Yeah.
I would say you're doing great, G. You're you're doing the best you know, and you're willing to grow. You're willing to
Thank you.
be
Thank you. But
vulnerable and ask for help. How do you get help? Ask for it. You do it.
Yeah, well, it was 5, 10 years ago. I would be scared of open up like this.
Hmm.
But now I know I'm happy for this
And
fireside.
imagine how scary it is for her to open up.
I don't know whether that wound is, um,
Gee, are there any social services available to you in Denmark?
Ooh,
but
don't
it
go
all
there.
costs.
Does it?
And,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
And
Then
social
one session.
services,
I don't think one session would be enough. I don't even think that maybe one one therapist is enough. Because there's so many things to cover.
and the unfortunate thing about Denmark is if you go to social service, they'll just say, "Oh, you can't take care of your children. We'll come in."
Yeah, they would.
And
Yeah.
then they'll just take over everything, and you won't get to be a parent anymore. It's
That's why
become
I've
very
done it all
scary to.
myself. I've been taking care of my kids all along on the way because I didn't want to go to them.
Exactly.
Because they destroyed many families.
Oh
Yeah.
God, that's so awful. I'm so sorry to hear that.
No, but no, I'm a believer in many ways, you know. And then there's something higher than us, you know. Then there's
Okay, so I'm going to share something which I know it won't sound crazy to you guys, but people listening in might find it very weird. There's something that I was that got shared with me, and it was shared as the title of it is shared as a psychic conversation. And for myself personally, it's felt a little bit more like a monologue. In other words, it hasn't always felt like a conversation for me when I've done it. But I'll give you an example of when it worked for me, and just so that it can show the extent to which it can work. And for some other reason, I forget to do it. So I usually, remember when things are bad. Then I remember to do it, which is crazy. Because if I remembered to do this on a daily basis, I have no doubt that the impact of it would be expansion after expansion after expansion. So I'm glad that you are bringing my attention back to this. It's a very simple process. You put yourself in silence, and then you ask your higher self if it will please help you out with something that is very dear to your heart. And you notice the higher self accepting the request, right? So for somebody like Will could do muscle testing. For you, Chi, you just feel in your body, is your heart open? Okay? And you'll feel it. So you're just giving your body a chance to align itself when you start this process off. And then you ask the higher self to please invite the higher self of the specific person that you want to speak to. And you wait again to feel a little bit of an expansion in your body. Okay, so you're giving space for energy, right? And for energies to connect. So the intention is there, and you hold the intention of connecting to the energetic body of the person that you want to have be spoken to. And then you say what you want to say. And with your kids at the moment, you could probably do this with each one of them. And you speak to what you want them to hear, that you know they can't really hear you at the moment when you are, in daily life going about things. And then when you are done, you thank their higher self, and you thank your higher self, and you just, you say a little refrain for yourself, anything. I'm grateful that I have got this capacity to do this. And I have full trust that my intentions are going to be heard. So I did this at one point in my situation with the hospital, where I really needed my specialist to hear me about what they were doing with my drugs. And it was a very tricky situation because from their perspective, they needed to increase my drugs. And what I was seeing was that every time they increased my drugs, because my numbers were low, I got worse. And it gotten to a point where I'd already had one calamity happen, and I was not prepared to have another one. So I spoke to the surgeon in my mind, like that, the night before the meeting. And when he walked into the consulting room, his words were, "Good morning, Mrs. Cassidy. I was looking at your file last night, and I think we need to stop increasing the medications."
Wow.
That was a huge win for me. It was really, really important.
That is so deep. Working on a higher level
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And we connecting. Yeah.
That's right. You're connecting in the energetic field.
Yeah. Yes. I got that. Yeah.
So,
when you told me about to write a letter to one of my kids.
yes.
Express all my feelings and all that. I don't have to give them the letter. The higher self will pick that up.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you, Alison. I can definitely use that too. Yeah. So.
Well, I'm very grateful that you reminded me of that, because I was thinking, like, how are you going to do this?
Yeah.
Good morning, beautiful souls.
Good morning, beautiful
Sandra.
Good morning, Sandra.
It's so good to have you with us.
Oh, it's great to be here. I'm totally exhausted from being up for days for good reasons. But I'm so thankful that I said, let me just pipe in and just be in the presence of you guys. And you telling of that event, so magical. I was thinking quickly. So if someone has an extreme level or any level of ill confidence, then you're radiating that message out, and people will treat you and reinforce more reasons why you should not be confident. And if you don't like somebody, and every time they come around, you're in the I don't like them, you're gonna that same energy that you sent the message to your doctor. What if you was like just sitting there in fear? He could have picked up your fear, and he could have lost hope on you too. Oh, she's just gonna not make it.
That's a very good point. We forget about that, huh?
Yeah, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. So, and oh man, it's so much. Oh my, you're awesome. All of you are geniuses. My God, you're geniuses. Oh, so I'm taking a class
It's
in
not always that.
NLP, and it's all of this is just resonating together. This is awesome.
Mhm.
But our kids doesn't always see us as genius.
I didn't
No.
I didn't understand your words in the speaker.
I said,
Say it.
yeah, I was just saying that our kids, they're not always seeing us as genius.
It's okay, long as we know we are.
And, that's that's good.
Just like the prodigal son, he didn't think his father was a genius,
Mhm.
but he had to make room in himself. Allison was given the instruction. She said, "Open yourself up,"
Mm.
but he wasn't open. But
Mhm.
once he got out there laying around with the pigs, that opened up some new oracles. Oh, Dad is a genius. He got it going on back there. Let me go back and check him out. And I think being a genius is knowing that there's always and more and yes.
Mm. That's a really nice. That's captured so well, Sindrell. Because it speaks to the space, to the expansion. And that is the essence of genius.
Wow, I'm just getting so much. I'm sizzling like all over. It's amazing. So I would hear of these exercises where people would think on things. Like the lady, she like won the lottery over and over and over and over and over again, and they were like, how is she doing it? Stuff that I know academically, I still just really know it academically.
Mm.
She knew it viscerally.
Mhm.
And like any muscle, I think I shared before, this concept of conditioning. You can know something academically, but when you know it viscerally and you're the instrument of that knowingness, then you can win the lottery. It's a conditioning. You open up, you feel, you told them, you said be sensitive. Be sensitive to those little nuances like in your body of inviting your ability by letting your ability of super consciousness to actually do what super consciousness does.
Mm.
And to know that we are super conscious.
Mm-hmm.
I have thoughts that come to me that are not thoughts that I want to really think. But now those thoughts, before those thoughts used to take me over. Now those thoughts are like other elements that just come and stand at the bus stop with me. Like I don't know. I see you, but I don't know you. I
Mm,
see you, but I don't eat dinner with you.
yeah.
I see you, but my kids don't have nothing to do with your kids. We just happen to be at the bus stop.
Yeah.
And I know you're only at the bus stop because I know of you. And I maybe knew you 10 years ago and you're still hanging around at the WIC because I come to this bus stop. But I say goodbye to you now because I'm taking this bus ride and I'm getting a Rolls Royce limousine car picking me up. And I'm leaving you to take the bus. I'm taking a different ride. But that takes conditioning though to know and recognize
Mm.
your bus
Mm.
eventually is no longer a bus. It's a whole different ride with buzzing bees. With the buzzing bees, baby. So I don't take the bus with doubt and innuendo and unworthiness and not belonging. And the world's doing it to me. I don't take that bus.
Hmm.
And fear and acceptance, right? All of that stuff, right?
Mm.
But at some point, I had to become separated from myself to become myself,
Mm.
to be myself. I am genius. Ooh. I have taken off the coat of the world, baby. You can have that. I don't even need a coat. I am the elements. I am the wind. I am the song. I am the love. I am the singing. I am. Oh man. You are, I am that I am. It's so good to meet me.
Hmm.
And look at all the friends I have here to play in the sandbox of life with. And you all know whether you've taken off the coat of the world or not, somewhere in you, you know that you are that you are. And I see that you are. and you see that I am. Thank you for seeing me as I am. Genius. And yet there's no comparison to be what you are. You are what you are. I am what I am.
Mm.
Like how do I know that Jesse is genius? I just know it. How did I know that I am genius? I just know it, but not because I have to compare myself to anyone else. And that's genius.
Have a great day, guys. I'm gonna step out.
Bye bye, Will. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for being with
Thanks.
us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
I will.
Yay.
I will.
See you guys.
Great day, Will.
Thank you.
I need to get going, unfortunately, Sandral. I'm sorry.
No, don't be. I just popped in to touch in with you guys.
I'm so glad you did. That was so wonderful. I
Have a
love
blessed
that
day.
imagery.
Thank
Have
you
a
for
good day.
thank you for lighting me up with your fire, your love.
Yeah.
Mm.
You all have a great day.
Bye bye.
Thank you all.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Have a great day.